Hello and welcome back to part 29 of my Deity series on a huge Earth map as the Celts, facing down 42 Deity AI opponents. So, when we left off, we were really excited about getting a capture off on the nuclear submarine. And prior to that I was making a big deal about getting aluminum online. But Trapper MMA asks, do nuclear submarines actually need aluminum? Now, that's a very good question because none of our aluminum was consumed when we captured that nuclear submarine. So I did a quick Google, and so Civilization 5 has been out for 5 years, and I've been playing it since 2011. I didn't even start playing Civ 5 when it first came out, and there have been a lot of changes over that time. And so at one point in time, nuclear submarines did require aluminum, but they no longer require aluminum. So I didn't even need to have to worry about that. Ignore everything that I said about nuclear submarines requiring aluminum. But we have a nuclear sub, which is excellent. He's revealing another sub, so let's see if we can hunt that guy down. And Trapper MMA, Matter Zero, welcome to the chat. I'm glad to see you guys in the stream bright and early. Alright, let's drag our Admiral out to the front. Tudless, welcome to the stream. Alright, so these guys, let's move them as far forward as possible. We'll scout ahead with the submarine as well, see if Pedro has any other subs hiding around. We don't want to move him too far forward, because any incoming subs we want to ignore. Well, I'd rather, in this order, I would rather lose privateers than the nuclear sub. I would rather lose, even though I would rather lose a only lightly promoted frigate than a nuclear sub. I don't think I want to lose my range and logistic frigates though. And if I can get those guys upgraded to battleships, so much the better. Let's swing over here. Deal damage like so. And I think I'd like to try to get the capture off here. We're not going to have... okay, how much damage is this? 60? That would be overkill. Let's inch forward a little more. Okay, so there's an anti-aircraft gun. At one point in time, there were 2 aircraft based in São Luís, but it looks like Brazil has moved them off somewhere else, or they're just not appearing on the interface right now. He could also have based them onto his aircraft carriers. The last time we were scouting through the South American coast, we did spot 2 aircraft carriers, so he might be sending those on an offensive somewhere. That's some pretty advanced AI behavior, but I'm not entirely sure where his air force has gotten off to. Alright, let's bring this guy down to say here. Predicted to do 19, so we should be safe to do that shot without losing the sub. And then let's go and bring this privateer in to do the capture. Bing! Aw, come on. I just want a fleet of nuclear subs. Is that too much to ask for? Tudless has been full of regret ever since they bought Vanilla Civ instead of the DLC, which was $10 more at the time. Well, the DLC expansions go on sale periodically, so you should be able to pick that up again at some point, or, you know, if you think it's worth it. I'm not entirely sure how much Brave New World is going for these days, but if you don't want to shell out for, if for some reason it's more expensive to get both Gods and Kings and Brave New World, getting Brave New World gets you all of the game mechanics that were added in Gods and Kings. The only thing that you'd be missing are the specific civilizations and scenarios that come with Gods and Kings. So if you want all of the latest mechanics, but don't want to spend the full amount for Civ 5 Complete, Getting Brave New World gets you most of the way there. You're just missing out on the odd civilization, which is fine. Like, I don't mind. I'm not really into playing specific civilizations, at least not as much as many other people who enjoy this game might be. So we'll put all of the, on the topic of rather losing my privateers first, we'll send all the privateers out in front. We can hit, actually now Sal Lewis has more combat strength than Recef, so let's go hit Recef or Recif, or I actually have never heard any of these names in real life, so I'm probably getting them completely wrong. But I'm probably in good company. If you're actually Brazilian, I'm sure you get all manner of tourists who have no idea how to pronounce the names of the cities that they're visiting. Now, let's keep on advancing our army here. Is there an enemy unit here? No, it's an embarked Portuguese settler. Jacob23, yes, I still have the nuclear sub. I'm also very glad that he has survived the turn. Now, the question is, how much trouble is Barcelona in here? So, Rome has been quite insistent at sending their antiquated units over to make trouble for Barcelona. Normally, I would just laugh at that, but it's possible that the trebuchet would go deal in some significant damage to the city, since they are city attackers, and then this Great War Infantry will go and knock down the rest of the strength. So if I wanted to do something about that, I could park the frigate within Barcelona on the hill there, so that I could actually see over the hill. The naval units get the vision or the height bonus, height requirements of the city themselves. So I guess the idea is that the harbor is on a series of locks, and so whenever you bring the what am I trying to say here? Well, if you have a naval unit that and hills are blocking line of sight, if a city is on a hill as well, then the naval unit will be as if it were on a hill if it enters the city, which thematically acts as if the harbor itself is on a series of locks that elevate your frigate to the right height so that it can fire its little cannons at some Great War Infantry, which conjures some strange images when you try to transfer that to the real world. Alright, so do I want to risk losing my frigate here? If I bring him into Barcelona, he can take a shot at the Great War Infantry. Let's just have him heal here, and if necessary, we'll have to retake Barcelona. That will be a bit of a pain, because we're going to be out of resistance soon, and that'll reset that whole timer and lose us a bunch of population. But I don't want to risk losing these frigates here, so we'll just see if Barcelona can survive the hits there. Meanwhile, these guys should be able to take Cologne soon. And this guy is safe to move in because he does have logistics. He can go take his 2 shots, and if we don't do enough damage to take the city, he can go and run away, get out of city range. But it looks like we should be able to take the city, if not with the first privateer, then with the second. So let's get in there right now. Matter Zero asks if I'm going to liberate Cologne or keep it. I have enough happiness to keep it. It doesn't have any luxuries. We'll see what buildings it has. Actually, if the liberate option is there, I might not be able to check what buildings it has before I open it. So let's see. Let the Twitch chat weigh in on whether we should liberate Cologne or keep it for ourselves. Meanwhile, the rest of these ships, do they want to start working down Amsterdam? No, that's fine. And this guy should move back for his own safety. And withdraw to here. As for the Great Admiral, let's park him under here. Matter Zero thinks I should liberate Cologne. Now Germany only has 2 cities, so there are going to be 2 main benefits. Well, let's say 3 main benefits of liberating Cologne. The first is that we don't have to worry about the unhappiness from the city, but we've got plenty of happiness, so I'm not too worried about that aspect right now. The second is that every city that we acquire is going to increase the cost of our next social policy. We're going to unlock a social policy in 16 turns. If we annex or puppet Cologne, we might increase that by a turn. Each city also, on a huge map, increases the cost of our next tech by 2%. That's not going to be too relevant. We would also reduce our warmonger penalty or warmonger rating by liberating a city. And that could get some more civs to be friendly with us or take peace with us. And then the last thing is it would ingratiate us to Germany. But Germany, we wouldn't have too much to gain by being friends with Germany here. They are 3rd last on score. They have, let's see, they have no gold per turn. They have a little bit of gold as a lump sum, but we're not currently friends with them, so we wouldn't be able to get that off of them. Meanwhile, the chat is really weighing in on the liberate option. Matter Zero, Jacob23, Chapter MMA, Tudless, they're all saying go for the liberate. It would give us a safe place to send cargo ships, that's true. Although this whole area would be safe. All we have to do is make peace with Denmark. We're already at peace with Sweden, Austria, and all the rest. Okay, so Tudless is changing their mind, changing their vote to take it. We'll go and take care of our other moves first before we actually settle on what to do with Cologne. And we can start bringing this privateer back, meet up with the rest of our attack fleet. This is our last ditch to try to make something of this game. If we can capture some really high quality Brazilian cities, that'll boost a lot of our stats. They, at least, especially if we are able to capture the capital, that'll really boost our science and our production. Let's see, what wonders does Brazil have? The Eiffel Tower, Sydney Opera House, Broadway, Taj Mahal, Colossus. Definitely lots of culture-oriented wonders there. And Carxion, for a dissenting opinion, says to raise Cologne. That's also an option, not one that I particularly am excited about. We've got the new spy for entering modern, and there were no suggestions on the YouTube as to where we should reassign these spies. So we'll just go and drop them into cities that we have not yet explored, since the potential values aren't likely to have increased. We can drop one of them in India, and then another in, not Japan, because they're industrial. Well, let's check. Songhai, Syria, or Shoshone. What tech eras are they in? Diplomacy overview, Songhai, Shoshone, and Assyria, global politics. Let's see. That's a lot of civs. Okay, the Songhai are modern. Shoshone are modern, and Assyria is atomic. Alright, so the atomic era is further ahead than the modern era. Let's definitely go and drop into some Assyrian cities. Let's see, so one guy in Assur as a spy, not a diplomat. And is there another large? Yeah, we'll drop one in Nimrud as well. So let's try our luck at these two Assyrian cities. And as for research, we're getting a textile attempt off on Mecha in 10 turns. Let's go and have a look at Mecha. That'll be somewhere over here. Mecha. He's got battleships, but no research labs. What I really need to get over for this whole science victory plan, I need to get over to plastics to build out the research labs. So, if I'm not sure if Arabia has plastics, I'd rather steal radio. The textile timer again is 10 turns. Alright, let's research radio. If we're unsuccessful at getting that textile, if he doesn't have plastics, we can always steal flight, or if necessary, biology. So yeah, we'll line things up like this, and hope we can steal plastics. If we can't, there are two other good options: the biology to unlock oil, so we can actually build out battleships once we're over to electronics, and then flight is, of course, on the way to electronics. So that'll all be fine. That's a reasonable tech path. Replaceable parts, yes, very good. Losing grasp, so known as bankrupt. We're actually friends with Manila. How did that happen? I must have fulfilled some random quest when I wasn't paying attention. Yes, we've got that. Great War infantry nearby. The Ottomans have made peace with England, and World or United Nations this time. Alright, so Sikhism or international games. 12 nay, 10 yay. So both of these, international games is very likely to pass, and Sikhism is very likely to fail. I want international games to pass. I don't really care about winning that. The 3 happiness would be nice. Increase with city-states isn't going to be terribly relevant since we're often at war with them, so getting the friendship status buff isn't going to be that helpful. The extra happiness is nice, but the reason that I want international games to go through is that most of the AI civs will switch their production over to these great projects, which means they'll be spending less on science, furthering science and furthering military, furthering any of their other goals. So let's vote for both of these in the popular opinion direction. That'll be fine. It'll make a few civs angry with us, but the rest of the civs will be happy since we are going with popular opinion there. Now, our nuclear sub here, that's probably a fine place for him to be. We can leave these guys here, and time to spread religion to Paris. Let's do that. And do we have majority religion status with France now? It looks like they've got a large number of cities, at least 5. Let's have a look quickly. Trade. How many cities does Napoleon have at this point? Whoa, he's got a lot. Alright, so there's no way we're getting over to majority religion, but more pressure for Tengrism in the area. Definitely welcome. Alright, so now the votes are in favor of liberating Cologne. If I can see what buildings Cologne has. Oh wow, really? At 72 strength, we didn't actually get the capture off. That's a little embarrassing. We're gonna lose a privateer or 2 there. The ironclad will be out next turn. We'll do the capture next turn, so that gives all of you more time to weigh in on exactly what we should do with Cologne. We'll flip that over to strategic and turn in the turnover. Matter Zero is weighing in with some good advice and perspective on raising cities. It's actually the worst of all the options. You should never raise cities right away, because you get the higher science, the increased culture costs, and the warmonger penalty. Now, that's not exactly true. If you use the raise immediately option, then that city doesn't count towards your increased science and your increased culture cost. If you stop the raising midway, then the city will count towards it. But the only benefit to select raise immediately is that destroying the city in that situation doesn't increase your social policy and science costs. You can swap embassies with Japan. At least that's the way it worked at some point in time in the game. If you use the example of how I thought nuclear submarines required aluminum, things about the game change all the time, and there's so many little facets in this game that it's easy to make things up or misremember stuff. Trapper MMA says that I should probably have healed up those 2 privateers by expending my Great Admiral. I don't think... well, I didn't do that, but I don't mind losing a privateer or 2. We do have enough capture units in the North Sea at the moment. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Right, but along that same theme about when raising a city might be okay. So raising is actually a decent option if you don't want the AI to get the city and it's not going to be beneficial to you for reasons of unhappiness, increasing social and science costs. We can take peace with Cyan there. But one thing that you should never do, or almost never do, no, it's never do. You should never annex a city as soon as you capture it, because annexing the city has a greater unhappiness penalty than just puppeting it. And the benefit of annexing a city is that you can control its production, you can rush by units there, but when you take over a city, it's going to be in resistance for the first few turns, or for many turns, depending on how much population the city has. And so annexing the city gets you no benefit, since you can't control production, or you can't actually produce anything, and you can't rush by in a city that's under resistance. So you've just taken the extra unhappiness without any of the extra relevant abilities. So yeah, never annex a city when you capture it. You can annex it later once it's out of resistance, but don't annex it right away. Alright, so I got an email this morning from a viewer by the name of Timothy. He says that he's in his 11th year, which I assume is the same as grade 11 over in the North American schooling system. So a high school student from Australia, and he's doing a project. I guess it's some sort of an essay piece or something. I'm guessing that the students got to choose their own essay topics, which is actually a good idea. You're more motivated to work on the project, and you're still going through the same skills of writing, putting together a thesis, pairing your ideas, connecting them all logically, looking up sources, maybe conducting interviews. Anyway, so Timothy's question, apparently for a school assignment, or the topic of his assignment or essay is, what strategy is most effective while playing Ethiopia in the historical simulation game Civilization V? And then he has 6 interview questions. And since this live stream I have got so much time during turn transitions, I may as well help Timothy with his homework here. So his first interview question is, how long have I been playing Civilization V, and how well do I know the game? Alright. Well, I've been playing, according to Steam, I have over 2,000 hours of Civ 5 playtime. Now, the Steam account that I use for my streaming, or that I've been using for the past 2 years, isn't actually my first Steam account. I had another Steam account as well, which I haven't used in a while, but I also have some playtime on that. So I would say 2,000 hours, just because some of the hours for Civ 5 aren't actually play hours. Sometimes they're just, I have the game open in the background and I'm doing something else, or I've forgotten forgotten that Civ is open. Sometimes they're for multiplayer. We're just waiting for a game to load, sitting in the lobby. It could be open for other reasons, but 2,000 hours is a safe bet for how long I've been playing this game for. Now, how much? What was the second part of the question? How well do I know the game? I know the game fairly well. There are definitely other people who are much more obsessed or enjoy the game much more and definitely much more detail oriented than I. So there are definitely bigger Civ 5 fans and experts out there. Well, I know the game quite well, but there are people who know the game better. We'll address some more thoughts on that question during the next turn transition. Alright, so Brazil hasn't come forward with any subs. Matter Zero has a comment about annexing free courthouses on city capture. Ah, alright. So, with the tenant or ability for free courthouses on city capture, that might be a situation where you might want to annex right away. I've never actually done that, so I don't know if that's effective or if that's how the whole tenant immediate annex interaction works, but that does seem like a situation where you might want to get the early annex off. Alright, so capturing or freeing Cologne. We'll swing around to here, deal our damage, and we'll do the actual capture last. And that'll leave the Twitch chat more time to weigh in on what they should be doing. And Barcelona did survive, but yeah, it does look like Barcelona will fall next turn. So we're going to want to get our units around to help deal with that. The Ironclad will be really nice for retaking Barcelona here. Oh wait, I don't want... I wanted Coastal Raider. Because since the Ironclad doesn't have prize ship, its ability to attack other ships is not going to be as valuable as doing so with the privateers. You can upgrade privateers. Can I upgrade privateers to Ironclads? No, I can't. Or can I? I forget. We do have the coal, so if we wanted to, we could. There's no upgrade option there, so no, we can't. So Barcelona's going to fall. That's going to be a little painful. We're going to lose a bunch of happiness, but we do have all of our ships in position to deal damage. I guess we may as well have them back off so that when Spain gets that back, they won't get a free shot off at our frigates. We can easily move them back into range later. And let's go move this guy forward. We'll get set up to start taking... Oh, okay. So the strength, the combat strengths of these cities are flipping back and forth based on what units are being based there. So last turn, São Luís had the stronger combat strength, and now it's Recef. Let's inch forward with this nuclear sub, see if we can spot any other subs coming in from Brazil. That seems to have been it for their subs. So, we already have T? We do already have T, so if I wanted the better city, I was actually in the area when I saw São Luís being settled. So São Luís probably doesn't have nice buildings. Recef is much more likely to have nice buildings, and it has two luxuries that we don't currently have, cocoa and sugar. So let's go and take down Recef. Let's swing back over this way. Maybe hop over here. Do a bit of exploring with the privateer. I hope there are no other submarines. Okay, so there's one nuclear sub right here. Let's bring these guys in for the flanking bonus. Over to here. And over to here is fine. where there's one sub, there's probably more. But, let's see. I don't have... Well, can I radar using a Great Admiral? I'm not sure if that actually works. I'm pretty sure it used to work, but they might have fixed one aspect of the radar trick. Alright, so we'll leave that there. Let's get all of these guys into position. Right over to, say, here, and then we still have 2 moves. This guy does have range, we'll bring him over to here. This guy also has range, we'll use that bit of movement. This guy does not have range, so he needs to get much closer. Looks like he's not going to be able to join this fight. Bring this guy into here. And 2 tiles north of Recife. So there might be a sub right there, according to Jacob23. We'll go and have a look once we capture or destroy this sub. Let's go bring all of our units into position. Let's have this guy protect the Great Admiral just in case. Leave that there. Bring these guys over and around. Let's scout south a little to see if we can spot any reinforcements coming from the Brazilian capital. Alright, so let's see if we can get a nuclear sub capture off. 19 damage. 14 damage. 13 damage. This guy's got the naval promotions, so he's predicted to deal 29. The sub has 30 hit points, so this shouldn't kill him. Right, perfect. And we spawned another Great Admiral, which is nice. Let's see if we can get this capture off. No such luck. But we can go and see if there's another sub right here. Oh, really good call there, Jacob23. And yes, this is the Brazilian unique unit, the Prasinha. And unfortunately, most of our frigates aren't in position to actually deal damage here to this nuclear sub, so it could potentially... Oh, it's just a conventional sub, not a nuclear sub. Alright, well, I mean, it's still really dangerous to our fleet. So again, we want to have the privateers there acting as decoys. Let's drop in to here, try and get the capture off. That's a minor defeat. We're gonna deal 21, and we're out of movement points. Alright, so let's back off so we're not within the city's range attack. There we go, and then hope that that sub doesn't kill us. If it doesn't, we can capture it next turn. Leave these guys here for retaking Barcelona. This privateer will go and join our party in or at Brazilian territory. Dublin finished its bank. Let's see. We need 360 production in to get the 3 happiness. When I go unhappy, I'll probably regret not building anything here. But I think I'd rather go and build out a workboat. We can recover those crabs. And Jacob23 knew the sub was there because our radaring with the Admiral did reveal that, but I skipped over that too quickly to make note of that myself. Alright, so we've got this Great Admiral here. Let's go and rebase him to Seville, and he can join up with this fleet. So Newport to Seville. There we go. Mind Dragon 1999. We've been streaming for 35 minutes now. I'm going to be streaming for another 25 minutes, so there's still more stream for you to see. You haven't missed much. We haven't captured any new cities. We haven't captured any new nuclear subs. We are about to capture Cologne, and we do have the question of what we should be doing with that city. Depending on what buildings it has, that'll determine what I want to do with the city. Go deal damage to that cannon, and that's all of that guy's movement. We'll park this guy over here for now, and it looks like I just need to choose what to do with Cologne. There's the ironclad done. Do I want to keep on pumping out units here? 60 hammers per turn. Should I mean, it's a little late to be worrying about pumping out culture. That's one thing that I should have been trying to address earlier, but we were at least I was really worried about trying to defeat England. I had other things on my plate. Let's go and build out. Alright, I guess a stock exchange would be good. We do want to get that roll per turn a little better. So, Jacob23 wants the Liberate. Let's see what the buildings are. Unfortunately, because the Liberate option is there, it hides the View City option. I could liberate the city. It doesn't have any luxuries, only 6 population. The likelihood that it has, say, a research lab is really low. Fine, I'll go with the Twitch chat, even though I probably would have gone with keeping the city. We'll keep Amsterdam, that's for sure. But don't say I never listened to the chat. We'll go and liberate the city. We receive a minor liberation bonus that erases previous warmongering penalties. And we'll please Bismarck, so liberate the city. That's fine. And our privateer gets teleported somewhere else. He got teleported to Nottingham, since you can't actually sit within allied cities. Alright, so that's good. Maybe more civs will take peace with us now. I wonder if Spain will take peace with us. That would save Barcelona. No, this is no time for negotiation. Alright. It would be silly if Isabella took peace, especially since she's about to take Barcelona here. And just as we were about to go out of resistance too. Well, that's the way these things go. We did lose a privateer to the bombard from Denmark. I wonder. Negotiate peace here. Nope. Still have business to settle. Alright, so that's it for that. Everyone else looks like they're having a good time. We'll see what sort of casualties we take over at Recife. And roll the turn over. Now, we did have those questions from Timothy for his little assignment. Ah, yes. How well do I know the game? So, a while back, I read a blog post or an article that looked at the playtime stats for different Steam games. And as is the case with a lot of games. So Civ has gone on sale a number of times, so it's doing really well. It's always in the top 10 most played games on Steam, and it's really high up there on ownership as well. And so as a result, if I recall correctly, the average playtime for Civ 5 is somewhere below 10 hours, and the median playtime is somewhere really low in that 10-hour range as well. So it's very fair to say that I've forgotten more about Civ 5 than most of the people who have ever played this game. And I don't say that to be cocky or arrogant, but after having not played Civ 5 for about half a year, and then having different pieces that I noticed that I've forgotten, especially pointed out by the Twitch chat, I've definitely forgotten a lot about the game. but I easily do know more about the game than most people who have ever played Civ 5. Alright, so the Iroquois want a declaration of friendship. Should I go for that? Why not? More options for selling stuff in a pinch in case we need a bunch of lump sum gold. So yes, let's work together. That'll be fine. Trapper MMA asks, how many votes will I need for the diplomatic win? We can definitely check that once the turn rolls over. We'll check that at the diplomacy screen. Okay, so that's probably good for Timothy's first question. His next question is, in my opinion, what are Ethiopia's strengths and weaknesses? So it's been a long time since I've played Ethiopia. Ethiopia's unique ability is, I think, something Spirit of Ottawa. Their units have like a 20% combat strength bonus. Oh man, so our privateer was destroyed by that sub, that's fine. For defense within their territory, and that's nice because a lot of Civ players like to turtle. Usually when you're playing on higher difficulty levels, a very good way to defeat your neighbor, your AI neighbors, is to have them send their army at you, decimate the attacking force, and so they're out of most of their defensive units, and then you can attack them. So the attack combat strength bonus in your own lands is useful. Their other ability or their unique unit is a infantry replacement. Also has an additional bonus within friendly territory, I believe. Not really that exciting. What is most exciting about them is their unique building. It's the steel of the stele. It's a monument replacement that also generates faith. So Ethiopia's strength is early faith generation and large amounts of faith generation, especially if they plant a lot of cities. And so they're definitely strong if you want to... Okay, very well, Gandhi. If you want to found a religion, especially on harder difficulty levels. And as for weaknesses, India just reminds me of that. All of the unique abilities and unique units, unique buildings in the game are strictly better than their vanilla counterparts. So civs don't so much have weaknesses, so much as they lack the strengths that other civs with unique abilities have. There's only one exception to that. India's unique ability isn't strictly better than the default behavior. Their unique ability is they get half happiness from citizens, but double unhappiness from cities. So that's sort of a double-edged sword there. Expanding early with India is difficult because the cities themselves provide double unhappiness, whereas late game, once you have the infrastructure to offset that city unhappiness, that's when their ability really starts to shine. They're actually perhaps counterintuitively really good at infinite city span as a result of their unique ability. But in terms of weaknesses, Ethiopia's weaknesses only exist in so much as they don't have some of the strengths that other civs have, and that statement is applicable for all civs. All right, so we've just given birth to a great musician. That's fine. We'll continue with Timothy's questions on the next turn changeover. And so my dragon is saying it's the Shoshone that have the bonus fighting in friendly territory, and it's Ethiopia is maybe a defensive bonus or something. Anyways, like I was saying, I've forgotten more about this game than most people know. If you want to know exactly what Ethiopia's abilities, unique abilities, etc. are, just look that up in this little PDF. Now, unit promotion here. This guy is the unit that took Cologne and liberated it for Germany. Let's give him extra mobility and just have him heal up here. Barcelona survived that attack, and we get to do our range attack here. Let's get that done. Okay, Echelon T is reminding me exactly what Ethiopia's bonus is. It's increased combat strength versus cities, or versus civs that have more cities than them. And that's whether or not they're in friendly territory or not. So that's interesting. It sort of runs in conflict with their unique building, which gets the most benefit from infinite city spam, whereas their other ability promotes smaller civilizations and turtling, I guess. So I guess Ethiopia would be favored by the majority of players who enjoy turtling, because their ability contributes to or promotes staying on fewer cities. Anyways, we took care of that Great War infantry. That's really nice. Let's see if Spain will take peace now that it looks like all of her military units have been destroyed. Alright, we get to keep Barcelona for a little longer. That's nice. And our fleet here, these guys can swing over to Amsterdam. It looks like we'll be safe. Barcelona is safe for now, which means we'll probably... I guess we can leave the Admiral there. We've got the Admiral from the North Sea who can go and back these guys up. Swing over to here. Even. That's fine. We'll bring the Admiral in. Deal damage here. Get within range. And nice, we're no longer running a negative gold per turn. As Mind Dragon points out most enthusiastically. And we can bring this guy around. May as well give these guys the benefit of the Great Admiral. We'll be able to take Amsterdam next turn. This guy, no concert tours. All of the great works of music have already been generated, so the only thing we can do with this guy is do a concert tour. Is there a single civilization that we're anywhere close to gaining cultural dominance with? Germany. I guess we could give the Germans a taste of English music. Or we could just delete them. It's only 100 strength. That's worth nothing. Alright, so this great musician is worth nothing. At least it's on a separate great people timer, so it's not delaying any of our other things. It's not delaying the spawning of any of our other great people, which the great scientist, great engineer, and great merchant are all on the same timer. So spawning a great scientist slows your production of the next engineer and merchant, and vice versa for each. So we'll just delete that guy to save on the gold per turn. And right, I was going to say that one of the drawbacks of playing with 43 other civs is that all of the great works of art, great works of music, and great works of writing disappear really quickly. And once that list expires, once the list of pre-planned historical great works is complete, even if you spawn a great writer, great musician, etc., that option is no longer available to you. And let's see. Okay, Brazil is out here. They've got a sub in Sao Luis, and they've got a couple of privateers here making trouble. Okay, first off, we need to hunt down that submarine. So, is he still right here? He is. Let's go and bring the Admiral in over here. Well, are we starting to run low on privateers? We are starting to run a little low on privateers, so we're going to want to get some of these guys some more guys over from the mainland. There's also a sub within Recife, and he's got aircraft out here now too. What kind of aircraft? Great War bombers do not one-shot our ships, but it's still definitely a concern because we don't have supply. It's going to take a while for these guys to heal up. Are we at war? We are at war with the Incans. Can we negotiate peace and maybe get open borders with them? No. Okay, we'll see if we can go and capture a submarine for ourselves. 11 hit points, decisive victory. Let's go and grab that guy. Or not. Alright, so taking down Brazil is going to be tough. We're going to start losing some of our glorious frigates here. But I really don't have a choice. We don't have anything better to do with this fleet. I mean, the other thing we could do with them is just hide them somewhere and say, oh look, our glorious fleet survived until Brazil got their scientific victory. But we're in it to win it, even if things look really grim. And it looks like at 97 strength, it's going to take us a long time to knock this city down. Do we have... okay, so that's all of the shots taken. Matter Zero wants to know if Shaka will open borders. We could get some healing going over here. That's an option. Let's see if he'll take that. I think he might. He is friendly with us, and the AIs are predisposed to swap open borders. So that's definitely something that we might be able to make happen. Let's bring this guy into range over here, say. And this nuclear sub, let's back him off to... well, do I want to get within range? I guess I'd rather lose the frigate at this stage in time than most of my other units, so I'll have them drop in there, deal some damage, and we'll have this sub. Well, let's see about Shaka. If we can get open borders, we'll go and bring the sub over to heal up over in one of his cities to trade. And open borders, we need to swap embassies, which we already have. Propose, excellent. So we'll now have another forward operating base for our navy. Let's swing this guy. Can't get there in one turn. This submarine is providing the valuable service of spotting enemy subs for us. At the moment, Brazil has 2 subs, each is within the city. But let's head over here to heal. And we'll head south, see what else Brazil has got going on. There's an aircraft carrier. And we'll hide back here slightly. He might have visibility range on us, but that's fine. This guy can go and heal up in German territory. We'll bulk up our ship of the lines here. And we've got this ironclad. Barcelona is now safe. How long is the ironclad going to take? He only has 5 movement. If he wants to join the Brazilian offensive, that's 6 turns. That might line up with when we need him. Alright, so let's start sending him across the Atlantic. And who else do I have? This great admiral here. Let's start sending him across the Atlantic as well. And do a little more advanced scouting ahead of the ironclad and the great admiral with his privateer, sending in a small batch of reinforcements for our Brazilian offensive. Alright, let's see how much damage the subs. Oh, and it's a nuclear submarine too. The subs and the Great War bombers do to us. Now, one good thing, at least at one point in time, I don't know if this is a glitch or something that's been fixed, but submarines can't do their range attack from harbor, if I recall correctly. So that means that this nuclear sub will have to leave port. It'll destroy one of our units, which of course is not what I want, but it'll give us another opportunity to capture a sub. Austria and India are now at war. Alright, next turn. And we can have another look at Timothy's next question. Oh yeah, opinion on Ethiopia's strengths and weaknesses. My more generic answer to that is that civs don't have weaknesses, except in so much as they don't have the particular unique strengths of other civs. And as I just demonstrated, I don't have all of Ethiopia's unique abilities memorized, but they are particularly strong at founding a religion. His next question, following from that, what win condition is Ethiopia most suited for? I never really played Civ with the idea of, hey, this civilization is particularly strong and good for victory condition X. Although I guess that is what I did for France. Not so much because they were strong at the cultural tourism victory, but just because their abilities were only relevant for the tourism victory. Okay, Theodora is denouncing us. But I mean, Ethiopia is a strong civ. Their abilities, I guess, kind of conflict. On the one hand, their ability for being getting that combat bonus when they have fewer cities than their opponents means that as you go further along on your progress towards a domination victory, you'll lose that unique ability. But the early wars are usually pretty important for getting yourself set up for the long-term military victory. So your bonus still applies early on when it matters most, so that's fine. Fitting into the whole domination thing, because their unique building is something that's built up very early by puppets. As you start taking over all sorts of cities, you'll get even more bonuses in the form of faith from the steel. And that's really good. Religion is one of the only mechanics that is not that doesn't have any negative modifiers applied to it by just spamming cities. So in that respect, yes, we all denounced England. In that respect, going wide or capturing a lot of cities definitely fits with Ethiopia's plan. The next question is, what strategy is most optimal while playing as Ethiopia and why? I don't know about optimal strategies. I'm not really... I do like thinking of strategies, but I'm not a number cruncher. I do recognize the value of being more quantitative about things, but, oh man, Recife has 4 aircraft now, but that's not how I have my fun. I don't have fun playing with, usually, in general, I don't have fun playing with the math and trying to find optimal strategies. So I can't tell you what, that I've done any quantitative work to say what the best way to play with Ethiopia is. Ethiopia is a strong civ. You can play them however you like, and things will go quite well with them. If you are playing Ethiopia, you may as well make use of the religion, since that's one of their strengths. Attila wants to buy open borders from us again. We'll keep that going. And no plan survives its first encounter with the enemy, matter 0. It's going to be different every time you play, depending on your land and your neighbors. Very sound advice. Okay, so which of the popular strategies, ICS, as in infinite city spam, for tradition, has the best synergy with Ethiopia and why? I think I've sort of addressed this in my meandering responses previously, that because of the stele, Ethiopia would benefit from infinite city spam acquired naturally through conquest or through building settlers and establishing cities. But at the same time, their unique ability, which is that combat strength bonus, when their opponents have more cities than them, does lead towards or does motivate staying on 4 cities, such as with the iconic 4 cities tradition paradigm. We've just spawned a great scientist, that's great. So I wouldn't say one's better. Again, it's down to preference. This is a game. It's not a, an economics project or anything like that, where there's a clear way that makes you more money that you must play if you want to win. It's all for fun. Anyways, there is one question left, and so maybe I'll answer that in tomorrow's stream. But I'm afraid this is where I have to end today's stream. I have a presentation that I need to put together. So while I would normally stream for a little while longer, we're going to have to leave it here. Massive Effects thinks that I should move off from Brazil until I have battleships. Yeah, we put, let's see, probably a 20% dent with the healing into Recife, so that's going to be another 5 turns before we're getting anywhere close to actually taking this down. And now that they've got 4 Great War bombers, it's going to be pretty scary. I think in tomorrow's episode we will try to capture this second nuclear submarine, unless there are big calls from the YouTube comments just to retreat, run away with our tail between our legs and come back when we're stronger. The thing is, the longer we wait, the stronger Brazil will get, and the less time we'll have to benefit from any potential city captures here. We could just turn around and go straight for the capital. The capital is what's going to get us the biggest benefits and hurt Brazil the most. And with the anti-aircraft gun stationed in Recife, it actually has the same, very close to the same combat strength as the Brazilian capital. So we could swing around, capture some more Brazilian ships, and then just pound away at Rio de Janeiro for the next 10 turns or whatever. Different things to consider. Massive Effect says retreat, the sub will follow us, and then we can capture it. That's a very wise plan. We can try to go for that next turn. Anyways, we've got a lot of stuff to set up, including capturing Amsterdam. That'll all be in tomorrow's stream. So that's it for me today. Thank you all for watching, and hope to see you tomorrow.